This episode is brought to you by the Law Office of Joseph I. Marchant, focusing on real estate closings and probate matters with 20 years of experience. For services, you can contact Joey at 478 374 1505. Ryle's Drugstore is a locally owned and operated independent pharmacy with pharmacists that live in the neighborhood, know patients by name, and are dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy. They offer fast, friendly services with competitive pricing and free delivery to surrounding counties. Remember that Riles Drugstore also has Riles Outfitters conveniently located inside. It is a boutique that offers home decor, gifts, and clothing for men, women, and children. Shop local and make our community a better place to live. Call today at 229-868-6735 or stop by at 12 South 2nd Avenue, McRae, Helena for help with any of your needs. Merchants and Citizens Bank is a proud sponsor of Throwing It Around. They've been a vital part of the local community since 1929. They offer traditional products and services people have come to expect. In addition, they offer internet banking, mobile banking that includes mobile deposit, ATM banking, telephone banking. For all of your banking needs, call them at 229-868-5656 or you can choose to visit on the web at www.merchantsandcitizensbank.com. Milton CPA Services LLC is your locally owned full service accounting, auditing, and tax preparation professionals. Please visit them for all of your bookkeeping and taxation needs. For expertise and peace of mind, you can call on them. Located in the old Security State Bank building in McRae, Helena, you can call at 229-868-5614 or visit them on the web at www.miltoncpaservices.com. Vineyard Doodles is your place to go if you're looking to add a new member to your family. You can visit them on Facebook, Instagram, or their website at www.vineyarddoodles.com for information on any new litters that have been born. And lastly, I want to thank Security State Bank, your other banking option in McRae, Helena, located at 45 West Oak Street, McRae, Helena, or call 229-868-6431. And with all that being said, I want to say welcome in everybody to episode what is now 66. It would have been 65. And we're here going to be talking with Mercer University baseball signee Michael Strickland, coming fresh off of high school graduation just a handful of weeks ago. He's here with me to share his story and talk about all that's to come in the near future. So let's get started and have a little bit of fun. Good afternoon, Michael. It's great to see you again. For those that don't know, I mean, this is actually a little bit of a redo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, first of all, I want to say congrats on everything you've achieved. I mean, with graduation, all the we'll talk about it in just a second. You went and played in a little bit of an all-state game as well, so
Yes, sir.
so we'll touch on that a little bit as well. But first, I want to say I wanted to ask how everything's been going with you, how you are, and we'll start off with a bit of an introduction.
Oh yeah, everything's been going good. Just a little stressful going. I leave in like 2 days for orientation, and I think 2 days after orientation, I move in to Mercer, so everything's a little bit stressful, but it's exciting. Just getting ready for this new chapter. I'm ready. I'm kind of ready to go. Kind of ready. So I wish like I could stay here a little bit, but it's just a part of the new chapter. Just getting ready to go.
I
Um,
got you. Getting a little
but
antsy.
yes. My name is Michael Strickland, and I am a firm believer of Jesus Christ, and I am committed to go play or I'm signed to go play at Mercer University to pitch and further my academic career, and that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's good enough. We'll hit more specific stuff as we move along. I know I mentioned the last time we tried to do this, whenever we had to transition over to a FaceTime call, that you were recommended by your sister Madison. She and I had a great time in the in a December episode that I did where we talked about her softball career. And so let's kind of do the same thing I did with her. We kind of followed the same line of questioning. We'll time travel back a little bit and talk about little Michael now. Think all the way back to those days and tell me what got you started and really sparked that interest in sports.
I remember picking up a ball when I was about like 4 or 5 years old, probably 4 years old, and I started playing like a little bit in the backyard. And then as soon as I turned five, I think that's when like T-ball kind of like came around, and like I was piddling with it. And it was really the only sport I was messing with. And it was just one of those sports like you just keep playing and keep playing, and the older I got, like the more I got a passion for it. And by the time I was probably like not 8 or 9 years old, um, I could tell like I was like pretty like I don't know, like I felt like I was pretty good, and I just kept staying with it. And middle school hit, and I started picking up a little bit of football, and I was messing with both the sports. Um, and I mean, I always knew that baseball was definitely going to be the sport to go with. Um, like I would just mess around with football a little bit
Hmm.
just to get in the weight room and everything. But no,
Yeah.
it's a good sport for sure. Um, I just fell in love with it early and just took off from there.
Oh, hey, absolutely, I love it, love it. And talking about this with people like to touch on their competitive streak a lot, but I have spoken with some people before in the past that have said that they played sports just to have something to do to get outside and kind of kill their boredom and whatnot. And some people have that natural bred, as I said, competitive streak. I mean, from the last conversation that we had, I mean, I could tell that you had, well, I guess, for lack of a better term, that bred in competitive streak. So that wasn't anything to kill boredom for you, was it?
No, it was
Yeah.
just like we would play in the backyards with some of my friends, like my neighborhood buddies, and we it don't matter what the sport was. Like it could be basketball or football or any other sport besides baseball, and like I wouldn't be like insanely good at it, but it's just if you got that competitive mindset and competitive mentality, like you can go out there and just feel like you can compete with anybody. You got a good chance of winning, and like all I could think about was just trying to like win. Like I just want to compete. Like
Hmm. It's real hard to turn it off.
oh yeah.
Hmm. The main focus today is basically to, like I said in the beginning, to tell your story and your continuing career as a baseball player. Some people, I mean, some people underestimate how hard it is to further themselves into the college level because once they get there, they're going to find out just how much they really like the sport. You know, some people have been known to get to college and then quit doing it, you know, because of the intensity ramps up.
Oh yeah.
But I'll say this, do you have any uh, I'm losing track here. The focus of today is your story and continuing career of a baseball player, but do you have any more to your credit, or is baseball mainly the thing that kind of got you through school the most? I know you mentioned you kind of fooled around with football a little bit, so was it more than two sports for you, or were those the big two?
Those were pretty much the big two for me. Like playing for my school wise. I always messed around with like a little bit of basketball, like with the boys and everything. And here recently, in the past 2 years or something, like we would just go out there and like play a little bit of pickleball because you always got to have something to get your mind off the sport that like really drains you sometimes, and you just got to have like a way out of like getting your mind off of the sport that drains you the most. But
Hmm.
um, really though, football and baseball was the big two coming up, and I really just did football in middle school for the weight room side of it because we didn't have a weight room in middle school for baseball, so I really just did that just to get in the weight room early, trying to get ahead for baseball, and ended up putting football down in ninth grade because I really didn't feel like it was worth it going through all those practices and like all the summer practices and everything just to go out there on a Friday night just to play. But I mean, you can ask football players and they'll say it's 100% worth it, which
Right.
everything's got their ups and downs. But like I really just didn't have that love for football like that. And now going back, I wish I did play two sports, like going up through high school, and that would have definitely been the other sport. But I just didn't want to get banged up and get injured and not be able to play the sport that I love in high school.
Yeah, I got you. That's understandable. That's understandable. And some of the points you made in that answer of yours is a kind of a great segue into talking about multi-sport athletes. In a lot of my softball interviews, I've mentioned how coaches have grown to be more interested in multi-sport athletes to see that they know how to flip that switch away from softball and not have to be solely focused on that year in and year out. So, I mean, in your opinion, do you believe that there's an advantage of being a multi-sport athlete, or do you think that you could be just as successful by focusing on one sport that you know and love, but but also on the side knowing when to slow down a little bit because you're beginning to feel and look burned out?
Yeah, no, 100%. I do feel like that multi-sport athletes do have a little bit of an edge because they have other sports that give them like fast twitch muscles or anything like that. Like if you take a guy that's in the like getting out the batter's box and you can tell he does like soccer, basketball or something like that, he gets out the box like really quick, like just running wise, and it just helps like with the like fast twitch muscles and everything. And speaking about multi-sport athletes, my roommate that I'm rooming with at Mercer, he plays soccer and baseball. Ethan Buffon, and he he was talking to me. He was like, "Yeah, I mean, soccer did help me a bunch with baseball, just like getting like faster and just being more conditioned for the sport and everything."
Mm-hmm.
And but I do feel like that one sport athletes that just focus primarily on their sport, they do have their ups and downs too. Um, just like multi-sport athletes, I feel like they could get burnt out a little bit. But the same thing goes for one sport athletes. If you just focus mainly on just that one sport, you just got to really love it, and you won't get burnt out of it.
Right, I got you. And of course, I mean, I've asked that question a lot to people. I mean, there really isn't a wrong answer to that. It's purely based off of an opinion.
Hmm.
In terms of getting serious about your game and increasing your chances of getting to play at the next level, when did you really begin that process, and when did that start to become a main thing in your mind?
Um, that really started to become a dream whenever I was in middle school. I always wanted to keep pushing to go to the next level, which I mean I still do. Even now that I'm going to college, like I still want to go to the next step after college. And but that started to become a dream in middle school, and I really didn't start like really putting in the work, like just like the countless hours and stuff like that until about ninth grade. And it started to come become more like a reality. Like if you don't do it now, you're gonna get left behind.
Hmm.
So I started to really pick it up in about ninth and 10th grade. I started hitting the weight room harder. I started to just put in more reps on the field, just get there first at practice and leave late. Um, I just feel like the person that's doing the extra stuff, it pays off for them.
I got you. Yeah, that I agree. That makes a whole lot of sense there. I mean, to have the mentality of being first there, last to leave shows that, I mean, shows that you really do take a whole lot of this seriously, and it it draws more eyes than you think. I mean, that can rub off on your chances of being a more rub off on your chances of being a starter if you play a position. That rubs off on the teammates as well that end up making them want to do the same thing. I mean, it has a snowball effect in a positive way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mhm. Kind of jump forward in time a little bit. Sophomore year of high school, you hit a bit of a bump in the road with having to have some surgery. What happened there? And kind of walk me and the audience through what all went down.
Okay, so sophomore year, or actually, I'm gonna jump back a little bit to ninth grade year. I
Okay.
got the job for my the third starter in the rotation for pitching, my freshman year. And I got like a good bit of innings as a freshman on the mound for varsity, and I just had like every now and then like growing pains and stuff because like I hit a major growth spurt going into my ninth grade year, and it was just like growing pains, and I just didn't think anything of it. Like I would go to the doctors and they just say it was growing pains, so like I just overlooked it, and everything was getting better. And then sophomore year, I beat out the other guy and got the starting job for the number one guy. Um, I was the ace my sophomore year, and I got a bunch of innings, more innings than I did, probably double the more innings than I did my freshman year. And probably after, like right before, or no, it was during region. It was the first series of the region game. I went out there on a Friday night and pitched. I maxed out 110 pitches. And then the next week on Tuesday, I went in to close the game because we had the lead 7-6. against the team for region, and I went into close because the coach asked me. He was like, "Do you think you can come in and give me an inning, just give me 3 outs?" And I was like, "Of course I can." So I went in, didn't think anything of it. My arm was iffy. I still remember it was still iffy. But like I had adrenaline going. Like I was wanting to just go in and get 3 outs and give my team a win. So came in, warm up pitches was fine. First two pitches of the inning was fine, and then it was two fastballs to start the hitter off, and got two fastballs by him, and I got the two signs from the catcher, ripped off a curve. I snapped it pretty hard and leaked something a little, and I finished the inning. And as soon as we were started shaking hands, that's whenever adrenaline started wearing off, and like I was like, I just did something to my elbow and my forearm, like it's messed up pretty bad. So I told the coaches, told the trainer and everything. And my trainer was like, "Yeah, no, we'll check it out the next day. We'll stem and ice it and everything." And so I did that, and it just didn't get any better. I actually had to sit out the rest of the year for pitching. Um, and I got it checked out after the season by a doctor in Atlanta, Dr. Laurie, really good guy. And he told me that I had Lacertus syndrome, which is this is the uh, so you have like your skin layer of your
Mm.
arm, and then you have fascia under it, and then your muscle tissue is under your fascia. I'm pretty sure. And my fascia, I was born with it, but it didn't start getting tight till like I started like overthrowing and stuff, and I was like overused a little bit. I feel like at a young age, like pitching wise, and it just made my fascia like even tighter than what it was supposed to be. And I got it checked out, and I have pictures on my phone, but it's supposed to be your fascia's supposed to be pretty much clear, and mine was fully white, and it restricted blood flow to my fingers, and that's why like I couldn't feel my fingertips after that game and everything, and so he went in, cut like slices in my fascia and everything to kind of just release everything in my forearm, and everything healed really good. Um, But yeah, that's when I got surgery my sophomore year. Didn't know if I was ever going to throw a baseball again, but he told me I was going to be able to. And probably a month after surgery, I was like, "There's no way," because like it didn't feel the same. Um, but yeah, that was definitely a bump in the road for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, I know, and that kind of goes into the next thing we're about to talk about. You mentioned beginning to doubt whether you'll be able to actually continue baseball at all, and staying in the right headspace during the recovery process is a crucial thing for an athlete's full recovery. That also means physical and also mental. So that kind of walk through the mindset of your recovery here about how you eventually did make your way back, both physically and also with what was going on in the head as well.
So really, my biggest thing was it was definitely like 80% mental and 20% physical wise.
Uh huh.
But whenever I got it hurt and he told me that I needed surgery and everything, that's whenever it kind of kicked in and was like, okay, so I do have a chance of not being able to throw a baseball again. Like, he even asked me, he was like, if you want to go pitch, if you still want to keep pitching, you're definitely going to have to get surgery. If you just want to hit, you don't have to get surgery. And I was like, I mean, I want surgery because I still want to pitch. But so whenever he told me that, I was like, all right, so now I take the risk on not being able to throw a baseball again. But I wanted to because I loved it. I love pitching. And I got surgery, and the first week I couldn't feel anything in my arm. Next week it felt a little bit better. I started getting feeling in my arm again. Not really my hands and fingertips, but it was just mentally draining being able to like look on my phone and like see guys just being able to throw the baseball and like really just played the game that I really and truly like loved since I was a kid. And all my guys, they were playing the game, and it was just mentally draining. But I got to the point where I started doing physical therapy on it, and my physical therapy lady did a really good job. We got back. I got to throw a baseball again in December. So almost 6 months after surgery, I got to throw a baseball again, and it started to hit me, and it was like it was no pain. It was pain free, and it started to hit me, and it was like I might be able to start throwing baseball again. Like it felt like reality was hitting me again, and it just felt really good being able to throw a baseball the first time. And I was back by my junior year. Everything was rolling really smooth, and I was just blessed and thankful for like everything, all the trials and tribulations. It paid off. Just staying believing in the man up top, and he'll get you through everything.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, of course, I mean a recovery process through any type of surgery, no matter how minor or major it is. I mean, faith is an often overlooked aspect of a recovery process.
Oh yeah,
I want to thank the sponsors again, real quick, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. I want to thank the law office of Joseph I. Marchant, Riles Drug Store, jointly with Riles Outfitters, the Merchants and Citizens Bank, Milton CPA Services LLC, Vineyard Doodles, and Security State Bank. The end of baseball season um, was basically now. I mean, as fast as time goes, it was actually a couple months ago now, or going on a couple months ago. Kind of run us through your impression of senior season, because every high school baseball player, if they're going to remember one season, it's most likely going to be the last one.
yes, sir. So my senior season, it ended a little bit earlier than what we expected it to end. But going into it, it like wasn't the most ideal situation. We had a new head coach coming in, and we didn't know what we was getting our feet into, and but he ended up being a really good guy, really good coach. He really cared about the boys, and he cared about not just them as a baseball player, but them as a person. And he came from Florida, came from a really good school, and we were just really thankful to have him. And told us he gave us a lot of information. The guy's very, very smart when it comes to baseball. And he's not just a guy like you just talk to about baseball. Like you can talk to him about anything. He's just a really good guy. Um, Cares about a lot. And but we started off the season a little rocky. I want to say we went 4-8 in the first 12 games, and then the last I want to say like last 15 or last 17 games we went 14-3. Like we went on a good stretch. We ended up giving the number one team in our region that went or almost undefeated. We gave them their only loss during region. They went 11-1. I'm pretty sure, or 14-1. I can't remember. But we gave them their only loss, and we were rolling. Went into playoffs, and we didn't get to host. And got put out in the first round over there at Wander. We didn't pull out the last game over there. We ended up splitting, but we didn't pull out the last game over there, which was very unfortunate. But season came to an end early. Flew by insanely fast. Time flies by when you're having fun,
Oh
of
yeah.
course.
Hmm.
But senior season, it had its ups and downs. Of course, all the ups was whenever you were winning, and all the downs were whenever you're losing. But there was some fun moments on and off the field for my senior year.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And then one thing I want to touch on real quick that I didn't ask you the first time we tried to do this. I mean, every time a new coach comes in, whether it's the head man or even really an assistant, I mean, you got to think the buy-in process, if you know what I'm talking about for the players. I mean, you got a new guy out there calling some shots. I mean, how long, in your opinion, do you think it took the team to actually buy into what this new man was selling?
For some guys, it was earlier than others.
Hmm.
I feel like if we would have bought in a lot earlier than what we did as a team, like as a whole, we would have been a lot more successful. We would have went deeper into the playoffs for sure, and we would have like gelled You can gel with the team, like as team, like as all the players can gel together. But if you're not gelling with the coach either, like it's just, I feel like it's not gonna work because he's the one that's telling you what to do.
Right.
Um, but you have to definitely like gel as a whole, like coaches and players. And I wish we would have gelled together as a whole earlier than what we did. But I feel like we didn't really start gelling until about start of the season or midway through the season. We didn't start just actually like buying into what he was saying as a whole.
I got you. I got you. And now that all of that is said and done, I mean, overall, well, what are maybe are some memories or lessons or both that you're going to pull away from Coffee High School?
Lessons and memories. Memories is definitely gonna be just hanging out with the guys. I'm gonna miss that. Just not even like just on the field. Like I mean, of course, I'm gonna miss just competing with the guys every single day. Just not even at games, but at practices too. Just the early mornings and the late practices. They were tough, but I'm definitely gonna miss them and all the workouts and everything. But really, good just going out to eat. Like we would just go out to eat after practices and go out to eat after games. And on the weekends, we would hang out all together. Like I'm just gonna miss, I'll miss that team. Um, really good group of boys, and I'm happy or I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen for them in the next couple of years. They got a really good group coming up,
For sure.
and lessons. Um, yeah, just what we were talking about earlier. Just like lessons for um, that I'm going to take away is just buy into what your coaches is saying early because he's the one that's going to put you out there on the in starting nine and on the field. So if you don't buy into what he's telling you, he's not like you about to go out there and play for him.
Right.
So
Hmm.
definitely that, and just give everything you got because you only get one chance at it, um, and live live with no regrets.
Oh, for sure. Hey, I love it. I love it. Now that we're getting into the most recent stuff, now kind of let's recap the whole recruitment process for you. Kind of going in, it's a big decision that had a lot of key factors to consider. What was just the whole process like for you, and then we'll dive into specifics about the schools and what exactly you wanted to see.
Yes, sir. The whole recruiting process, for me, it started my junior year. I had Twitter, and I would see all these guys. Like I never posted on my in my sophomore year on Twitter or anything like that, but like I would start seeing guys post videos and tag coaches and everything on Twitter. And I wasn't talking to anybody till my junior year, whenever I actually started posting videos on Twitter and tagging coaches and everything. And prep baseball, Georgia did a really good job. They would go to some of our games my junior year and senior year, and they would kind of put us out there to college coaches. College coaches really keep up with prep baseball, and they just did a really good job of like pretty much advertising us to coaches and everything. Um, and that's really the one of the key factors that got me to talking to colleges. My first college that I talked to was I was talking a little bit to ABAC, like they were giving me or one of the head coach was giving me lessons, and I would talk to them like on and off. But then my first actual phone call was with Air Force. Um, he texted my coach off of a video of me hitting that prep baseball posted and texted my head coach and was like, "Who is this guy? He looks like he can really swing it." And he gave me my phone number and everything. And we talked on the phone for about an hour. And he family out there to go visit the campus and everything. And um, really good guy. And I feel like if I didn't have the offer from Mercer when I did, I would have definitely looked into Air Force a little bit more than I did. But Mercer called at the right time, and they got me on campus, got me to tour it and everything, and it just felt like home. Um, and it didn't take me a week to come back and just tell them like I'm committed, and I'm 100% committed to y'all. I'm not going anywhere, and it just everything just felt like home to me over there.
I got you. Okay. Uh, What about the big factors that would have been on your personal checklist? You said it didn't take long at all to have Mercer be your school of choice. So, what was it that you were going in wanting to see, and did Mercer check off that whole list, or at least a lot of it?
Yes, sir. The biggest factors for me was just the coaches, the atmosphere, and the place in general. Like just the atmosphere at games. I would go watch games, and just the atmosphere was electric, especially on like Friday nights and Saturday night games. It would be packed, and just all the people there from the school would go, and all the administration would go to the games. And it was just like, dang, this could be a reality for me in about a year or two. And I just felt like everything was home. The coaches were super nice to me, and I feel like they care about you as a person too, really. And I met some of the guys there already. I know a couple of them, and they're super cool guys. Um, I just felt like home.
Hey, I love it. I love it. And one kind of a side point here, kind of talk about Mercer and how we've seen before in multiple sports they've been shown that they have an incredible athletics program across the board, not really with just baseball, but softball, basketball, all sorts of stuff. They got accolades to really talk about for days. And I know just this past year, winning the SoCon, being selected into a regional for the first time. Kind of talk about how excited you are to join that program because of what they've done in the past.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited to join the program. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just for the size and the like for the school they are, for the private school that they are, there's there's tons of athletes there. I mean, they've already got it done in football. Football, I think they won their conference, went undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. They had a really good football run in the playoffs, and just this couple weeks ago, or like a month ago in softball this past year, they won their conference in the conference tournament and went into the Women's College World Series. And I think they won two games in the Women's College World Series. First time they've ever won or went to the College World Series. And they won two games up there. And baseball always has a good run at the tournament. They were one game away, if I'm not mistaken. If they would have beat Sanford, they would have been right into the finals for their conference championship. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited to join the program. They got a really good one established already, and I'm just ready to add on to what accolades they already have.
no doubt, no doubt. Hey, um, once you get on campus and really start working with the baseball team, do you have any indication about? Oh, excuse me. We'll touch that in just a second. Kind of, we'll swap over to the academics now. I mean, uh, what do you plan on majoring while you're up there?
I plan on majoring in business because I really don't have a good idea of really what I want to do right now.
Okay,
It's always plan A's, always been just try and make or like just play baseball for as long as I can.
right.
And I just really haven't thought about like an actual job really, but I think I'm going to major in business because it's going to be so broad.
Right.
I can do a lot with a business degree, so I'm just going to major in business up there. And if Plan B has to um, come to a reality, I'll have a business degree and just try and find a job with a business degree.
I got you. All right. All right. And now we'll go back to the question I was about to ask. I mean, once you start baseball workouts, come the time that it's time to get rolling. I mean, do you have any indication about like what type of pitcher you're going to be once you get there? Are you thinking that you may end up being a reliever, or are you starting to think about battling for a rotation spot?
I really have no idea yet what my role is going to be pitching wise yet, but I would think for my freshman year, just try and get into the bullpen and try and get some innings out of the bullpen my first year, and then my next 2 to 3 years try and really just work for a spot in that starting rotation, and try and get some innings. But for my freshman year, I'm just gonna go in, try and make a spot on the season roster, go in and try and with a chip on my shoulder and try and get some innings and work for a spot out there with the guys.
I got you. I got you. And you know, whenever you look at it over the span of a whole season, some people fail to realize that bullpen pitchers are actually going to be out there more than a starter. You know, I mean, you see,
Oh,
you look at the stats over an entire year. You may have a you may have a reliever appear 30 to 40 times, where a pitcher is only going to make so many amount of starts. You know,
yeah, you'll have starters that'll have like 8 to 12 appearances in a season, and then you'll have relievers that'll have 20 to 30. Like
hmm
they'll have more appearances.
for sure. Let's see, and that I think you just said in just a couple of days you're expected to be on campus. So we'll kind of piggyback off of once you arrive on campus, like we'll talk about who's helped you throughout life. I mean, really really with it being academically, who's kept you in line to stay right in the classroom, and also making a big impact with your baseball career as well.
Yes, sir. My parents, they've always told me that um I was all it's like they always told me the true meaning behind like student athlete. They said the student comes first, and they always made sure that I was really strong headed into the academic side of things before it came to being an athlete. And so I always put school in my books first before baseball. And sports wise, my my dad, he done a really good job growing up. Whenever I was growing up, he coached me a little bit, and he coached me on the field a little bit, and coached me from the stands, uh, watching me. But he did a really good job. Most of the stuff I learned was from him, and um, my mom, she would always take me to all my tournaments and everything. She was the one that took me places, and my sisters, they both were my biggest cheerleaders from the stands. Um, but yeah, my dad, he was tough on me, but I'm truly grateful for him being hard on me because I wouldn't be half the player I am today without him. And my mom, she's been my number one supporter through it all.
Oh, hey, I love that answer. I love that answer. You know, I'll do a little side note again too. Not just this past Sunday was Father's Day, so I want to say a happy belated Father's Day to everybody, your dad, mine included. Uh, I just wanted to ask if y'all had a good day this past Sunday.
Oh yes, sir, we did. We actually, well, he actually grilled steaks for us, but
hmm
we ate steaks. It was his favorite meal, so we ate steaks, and we just sat around and talked for a while. Just got to spend Father's Day with him. I'm
I got
super
you.
grateful to be able to spend it with him.
I got you. And the last time we talked, you also mentioned somebody that worked at the school as well. Was that somebody who's also made an impact on you?
Yes, sir, he did. That's my brother-in-law, my oldest sister's husband. He works in the school system, and he's always been in my life since probably 6 or 7 years old.
hmm
And he started working in the school system whenever I was 11 at the high school. And ever since I got to high school, he actually got to be my teacher twice. And I'm really gonna miss not being able to um, be able to go to his class and just ask him questions about school, and not even questions about school, just about life in general. Just being able to talk to him on his lunch break and catch up with him and tell him everything that's going on, and just being able to get out everything that's been bottled up.
Right.
Um, it just helps a lot when you have somebody like that you can just kind of like let out everything.
Oh, for sure. And I know you mentioned with your parents, those with your parents being the ones that make a big impact. That's kind of outside of the system, but it's also a big advantage having somebody like him inside the system as well.
Yes, sir, it is.
Oh, for sure. Um, what about expectations of performance personally for you, and also what are you expecting to see out of the 2026 Bears when that moment comes?
Expectations for me for my first year is really just being able to make the roster whenever it comes down to them making cuts. I want to be on that roster, and I want to be able to help as much as I can with my arm and innings on the mound. If I get in, I want to give my team the best chance to win. Because I feel like I'm a true competitor. I'm going to give it everything I got. Whether I'm 50%, I'm going to try and give 50%. Um, but my expectations for the 26 Bears is we have a really good chance of winning conference, and then go make a run at the World Series. Um, but yeah, I think we got a really good group coming up for these next couple of years. Um, I'm sure I'm ready. I'm ready to see what we got going for us.
Oh, for sure, I am too, and I'm really excited to uh see what all you have in store as someone to have their own little contribution to a great program that's already had years of success.
Yes, sir.
Um, I think we'll close it out the same way we did last time. For those that don't, for those that haven't had uh, the opportunity to actually see you pitch, let's kind of go through your arsenal of pitches a little bit, and we'll go through all the pitches that you throw. We'll talk about your your opinion of when you prefer to throw them, certain counts, certain batters, whether it be versus a righty or a lefty.
Yes, sir. So I'll start off with my four seam fastball. This is what I go to in pretty much any count. Um, it's got a little bit of arm side run to it.
Hmm.
And it's just like a regular four seam grip. I don't go like wide with my fingers. I go pretty close. And I leave space here, so I don't choke it. But I can throw it in any count, to any batter. Um, and my or I feel like my plus pitch is definitely my changeup. Um, it's got like the same like tilt, or not same tilt, but like arm side run. But it's got a different tilt to it, so it like instead of a fastball, it just goes like straight and then runs a little bit to this way. My changeup, it has like tilt like this to where it like tumbles away and drops. It's like 10 to 12 mile an hour slower than my fastball, and I can throw it to a righty or lefty. I feel like in any count, but I do feel more comfortable throwing it to a lefty since it fades away from the lefty.
Yeah, I
Get
understand.
more swings and misses off the lefty hitter. And then I'll go to my next pitch. I learned it. I actually added it to my arsenal this past year. My slider. Um, I really grip it. It's not like a usual slider. I feel like it's more like a sweeper. Like I get around the side of it right here, and I don't put my fingers like right on the seams or anything. I
Hmm.
try and get on top of the seam and just really think about like coming through and like really like just scrape my knuckles like against the brick wall and just finish to my pocket to where it gets like that good, where it's like halfway, it's straight, and then it just like fades off,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
tight. I would rather throw that whenever I'm ahead in the count, because I feel like some days I'll have like really good command on it, and then some days it's just a little iffy. So I really do feel like I can throw that when I'm more ahead of a guy, like 1-2 or 0-2, or 0-1 or anything like that, and I'd feel more comfortable throwing that to a righty, inside or outside. I can get an inside buckle, or I can get an outside 0-2 wipeout pitch with it to a righty. And then lefties, I don't feel real comfortable yet throwing it back foot, um, but I do have a little bit more comfort throwing it back door, to an outside corner to a lefty, where
Hmm.
it like starts away into the other batter's box and it just comes into the outside corner. And I don't really usually get like swing and misses off that. They'll usually take it.
Yeah.
Um, and I usually get more strikeouts looking with that pitch. And then my last pitch is my spike curve, and I grip it right here, and I leave. I don't grip it on the seam. I grip it over the seam,
I got
and
you.
I'll let this finger have most of my pressure. Like I can really just throw it like this, but like this is just more like a guide, um, to get it with the knuckle right here, and I don't put a lot of pressure in that knuckle because it kind of throws off the tilt and the spin of the baseball and everything. And
Mhm.
so I got just like mainly a lot of my pressure in just these two fingers right here, and I try and get like pretty much on top of it. So it's like more of like a 12-6, but it does have a little bit of spin to the side, but not much. But it's more like a open down pitch. And I can throw that. I have to be careful when I throw it up, but like at the top end of the strike zone or like the middle end of the strike zone, I'll usually get strikeouts looking with it. But you definitely got to be careful. You don't want to hang it
Oh
because
yeah. Hmm.
they'll definitely bang it. But usually you can just catch guys. You can go if you can tunnel pitches really good. If you can throw fastball up and then just come back with the hammer down like a little
Hmm.
bit lower at the top of the end of the strike zone, usually get them looking with that. Or you can go that pitch, they'll take it, and then you go fastball up and they'll swing through it because they think it's the same pitch.
Right.
But really, pitching is just all about tunneling pitches. Like if you can get to tunneling pitches, you're gonna be like pretty much an elite pitcher. And I'll get wipe out pitch. My wipe out pitch with that is definitely bottom end of the strike zone, like just trying to like bounce it on top of the plate. And I'll usually get more swing and misses on in that location. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got with
Okay,
my
I got
pitch.
you. And I'll ask a couple more preference questions. I know between the slider and the curveball, I know those two are ones that a pitcher really needs to actually get some tight spin on to really get some good results out of it. I mean, do you have a
Oh, yeah.
preference between those two when it comes to trying to record a strikeout?
So out of those two pitches, it just really depends. I feel more comfortable throwing my curveball
Hmm.
um to lefties better than I do throwing my slider to a lefty. So it really just depends on the hitter. I like throwing my slider more than my curveball to a righty though, because it's breaking away from the hitter and it's feel like it's harder to hit.
Okay, I got you. And if you had to describe yourself, mainly there's two main types of pitchers: some that pitch to contact, some that want to some that want to go ahead and do it on their own and record a punch out. Do you consider yourself somebody who pitches to contact, or do you try to go up there and rack up some Ks?
That's actually what I'm trying to work on. I feel like I need to be more of a pitch to contact guy.
Yeah.
But I'll try and get a little fancy and try and go for strikeouts and run up my pitch count. And I just need to start going in, just throwing strikes. And it's the hardest thing to do in baseball is to hit a white ball, right, round bat, round ball. So just go in and if you can hit it, and you get yourself out. So I'm gonna try and start being more of that type of pitcher, just pitch to contact guy, because
I got
I feel like my stuff's good enough to go in and just throw the contact and them get themselves out.
Okay, and I got my last question here. I mean, in your mind, do you consider it better for you if you try to get somebody to hit it off the end of a bat, or do you like trying to jam people?
Um, Really, it just depends on the pitch, but definitely like off speed stuff. You definitely want them to. You'll actually have them to hit it off the end of the bat more on off speed stuff because they're early,
Yeah.
and they'll get their bat head around it too quick, and they'll usually end up just like flaring it off the end of the bat or something, or hit a weak ground ball. But on fastballs, if they hit it off the end of the bat on a fastball, it's kind of like a shot to the foot to you to your ego, them being early on your fastball. So
Hmm.
you definitely want them to hit it off the hands. If you go inside, you definitely want them to hit it off the hands. And then plus that boosts your ego on the mound too, boosts your
Oh yeah.
confidence. And like, hey, I I can blow my fastball by you. Just hit it off your hands right there. Like it just helps you on the
Hmm.
mound.
For sure. I got you. Well, let's thank these sponsors one last time before we close it out. I want to thank the Merchants and Citizens Bank, Milton CPA Services, Vendor Doodles, Security State Bank, Riles Drugstore, jointly with Riles Outfitters, and the Law Office of Joseph I. Marchant. Guys, this was, I do believe I said episode 66 earlier, but it is episode 65 because I did not post the one we originally did, so I think it'll go down to 65. Michael, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I do believe that we had a probably a better conversation in round number two instead of the first mess up.
Yes, sir. It definitely went a lot smoother, I think, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. Uh, I hope you enjoy. I'm reading twice. As you enter
Mhm.
this new chapter of life, I hope you and the Bears they get have as much success as possible. Maybe we can get together again after everything has taken off and you've settled into college. Well, we'll probably aim for maybe right before the season gets started, kind of check in again, and then we'll
Yes.
aim and then if you want to jump back again, we'll talk about postseason as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. With all that being said, guys, don't forget to like, rate, and share with all your friends and family. Be on the lookout for the upload of this episode. And is there any closing thoughts that you had, Michael, before we sign it all off?
Um, no, not really. I just really thankful for you to have me. Had a good time. And ready to catch back up soon with you.
Oh, for sure. I do believe that the first run was a trial run, and I do believe you and I have some more future plans. At least I hope so.
Oh yeah.
Until then, guys, I want to say go dogs, go Bears. Peace out, and God bless.
God bless.